So we are going to talk about an order block. An order block is one of the significant points of interest in the market. Like, it's very important for you to know what an order block is. It's also one of the institutional reference points. According to ICT, is also one of the institutional reference points that you have to know. Okay, so what exactly is an order block? An order block is a significant area where institutional traders like the banks, the big boys, place a significant buy or sell order, right? So now let me show you what an order block is. Like here, this market pushing to the upside. After this last candle to the upside, we saw this consecutive candle pushing to the downside, right? So this last candle here, this last bullish candle that traded to the upside before the market started pushing to the downside is what is known as an order block. Okay, so this particular candle here is what is known as bearish order block. So this point is where orders were placed by the institutional traders. All right, now let's map this out. The whole of this candle, the whole of this bullish candle before this push to the downside is what is known as an order block, and for this case this is a bearish order block. All right, bearish order block is spotted at the top while bullish order block is spotted below. All right, so this is a zone that may likely hold price when price comes back to this point. That's why it's called an order block, where orders were placed. All right, so if the market comes back to this point, it may significantly hold price for it to drop to the downside. Okay, now we have this order block here, and also an order block must lead to a break of structure, right? That's one of the criteria for identifying a valid order block. That particular order block here must lead to a break of structure. You can see here we have this break of structure here. We have a break of structure here. So this particular order block here is valid because it led to a break of structure at this point, right? Now this retracement here did not get to this order block. Okay, it did not get to this order block, but this order block is still valid. All right, now let's identify another order block. This point here is also an order block here. This last candle that traded to the upside before this particular move here, before this momentum down, right, before this particular move to the downside here, this is an order block. All right, so I'm also going to map this out. This is also an order block. This is a bearish order block, and this order block here gave us a break of structure, right? So here is our break of structure here. So we have a break of structure at this point. Okay, this is an order block. This is a bearish order block pushing to the downside. Now let's identify another order block. Here we have another order block here. This last candle to the upside before this push here. Why did we identify this one as an order block? Because it gave us a break of structure at this point, right? It gave us a break of structure at this point. So I will delineate this point like this all the way to this point here and label it break of structure, right? And this break of structure, where do we have an order block? We have an order block up here. Okay, we have this order block up here. I'm going to map this out. This last candle to the upside is an order block here to map it out. All right, now let's identify another. This is also like an order block too, but let's pay attention to the one that gave us a break of. Also, this one also gave a break of structure, right? Because this particular push here stopped here with a wick, right? It stopped here with a wick before trading above it, before trading up a little. Okay, traded down. So here we also have an order block here. This candle here, we have an order block here too. This one, we have an order block here. I think this is actually the main order block that gave us this break of structure, because this one here got to this point, right? You can see here it did not close with the body of the candle before this bullish candle printed, And after this bullish candle, we saw this massive push to the downside, breaking the structure. So we have here is also an order block. Okay, so you can spot more than one order block, okay, on a particular swing, right? So here we have this push to the downside. We have a break of structure here, right? We have a break of structure. The first thing you have to look out for is a break of structure. Okay, a break of structure. And after identifying the break of structure, you go back to check the origin that caused the break of structure, right? Go back to check the origin that caused the break of structure. Here, this is the origin that causes break of structure here. So here is an order block. This origin here is an order block. So I'm going to map the whole of this bullish candle like this before the push to the downside. So here we have a bearish order block. Here we have a bearish order block. This was the last bullish candle before this bearish move here. So here we have a bearish order block, and we always want to this order block is a significant point because we always want to see price coming back to it. Sometimes price will not get to that point, but price coming back to it is what most people use as their strategy, right? This is actually my strategy too. Okay, so this is one of my strategies, right? So want to see price coming back to it and see how price is going to react to it, right? You can see here that we map out the whole of the last candle to the upside before this push to the downside, giving us a break of structure. So this is a valid order block. And another thing you need to know about a valid order block is it must leave an imbalance, right? I'm going to talk about a fair value gap. I think my next video will talk about a fair value gap, but this is a fair value gap. This is an imbalance. So we have this order block here. Price came, tap into it and started pushing to the downside, right? Now let's identify another order block, right? The best way to identify another block is first identify the break of structure, because that's the criteria of mapping out a valid order block. It must lead to a break of structure. Okay, now we have a break of structure here, and looking out for the origin that causes break of structure here. This is the origin here, right? This is the origin that causes break of structure. This last bullish candle that traded to the upside before this consecutive push to the downside, breaking the structure, is our order block. So I'll map this order block out. Okay, I'll map the whole of this candle out. So this is our order block here. This is our order block, and this order block also has what is called inefficiency here. All right, we are going to talk about fair value gap. Fair value gap is the same thing as inefficiency. We are going to talk about it pretty soon. So this is an order block, the last candle that traded to the upside before this consecutive push to the downside, giving us a break of structure, is what is known as an order block. This is a bearish order block. Okay, so this is another block. Let's spot another order block. Now the first thing you need to look out for is a break of structure. Identify a break of structure. Okay, to know the right order block, you have to identify, because a valid order block must lead to a break of structure. Okay, so to identify that order block, you have to first identify a break of structure. After a break of structure, look out for the origin that causes break of structure. This is the origin that causes break of structure, right? I'm going to bring this here. This is the origin that causes break of structure, and here we have an order block here, right? Here we have an order block here. So we want to see price coming back to this, and this origin holding price and taking it back to the downside. Okay, so we have this bearish order block here, but price did not get to this order block. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do is to identify. And another thing, you can see this particular order block is valid, though price did not get to this point, but this particular order block is valid because it also left an imbalance, which is a fair value gap close to it. So if price comes back, place may likely hold price and take it back to the downside. Okay, now let's identify another order block. Let's identify another bearish order block. The first thing you want to look out for is a break of structure. Okay, here we have a break of structure at this point. Here we have a break of structure here, Now, where is the origin of this break of structure? This is the origin, right? But this is the last candle that traded to the upside before this consecutive push here. So we are going to map this out, this bearish candle, as our order block. Map the whole of the candle out as our bearish order block. So we extend it to this point, wait to see price coming back to it. You can see here we have this order block here. Price returned to this zone first, return to this zone, reacted to this order block before pushing to the downside. Okay, so now we are going to map out another order block. The first thing we should look out for is what? A break of structure. The first thing we should look out for is a break of structure. Here we have a break of structure here. We have a break of structure here. And where is the origin of this break of structure? This one here. This is the origin of this break of structure. And this origin here, the last candle that traded to the upside, is what is known as an order block. All right, we are going to map the last candle out like this. This last candle here is what we have as our order block here. So we want to see price coming back to this zone here, and for it to hold price and push price back to the downside. Okay, so here price did not get to this point, but this particular order block is valid also because it has an imbalance close to it. You can see all these imbalance here that price left behind. You can see all this imbalance here that price left behind. Okay, so now let's map out another order block. Okay, so here we have this break of structure here, right? Let's map this out. We have a break of structure here. That's the first thing we will look out for to identify the right order block, since an order block must lead to a break of structure. So we have a break of structure at this point, right? Now, where is the origin of this swing here? Here is the origin, right? Here is the origin of this swing. We have here and we also have here, but let's use this one here. This is the last candle here. But price violated this point here, took out liquidity up here before pushing, violated this point, took out liquidity. Like we have like a range around this point, a consolidation here. Okay, so this order block wasn't valid, so this order block was not respected, right? Wasn't respected, and this particular order block did not have any fair value gap attached to it. Okay, so we are going to delete this one and look out for another order block. The first thing we want to see is a break of structure. Where do we have a break of structure? We are going to map the whole of this out. The last candle down here, just map this out like this and label it break of structure. So for this break of structure, where do we have an order block? We have this order block here. Watch, we have an order block here. This one here has a fair value gap close to it. We have an order block here, right? But this particular order block was mitigated, but we also have an order block here. Let me map this out. We have this order block here, this origin here. We have an order block here, this origin here. We have this last bearish candle before this consecutive push to the downside. This point is also a valid order block because it has imbalance close to it. You can see here. So let me just map it out. All right, so here the market did not get to this one, but it respected this one. You can see here it respected this one and started pushing to the downside. Okay, so now let's identify another one. Okay, so we have this break of structure here. That here we have a break of structure at this point. Okay, so this break of structure here is the origin, right? And here we have an order block here. We also have an order block at this point here. So map the last candle out like so, and a valid order block must also have like an imbalance close to it. Okay, so we have this order block here. Now after price swept liquidity down here, okay, this is a break of structure because it closes below it with at least a body of a candle. So here we have an order block. Price came here. acted as if it was going to respect this other block here. Let me zoom in. Acted as if it was going to respect this other block here, right? Before pushing up, violating this other block here. Okay, so now for this change of character, we have a change of character here. Okay, we have a change of character. I call it market structure shift. Let me use the word market structure shift or change of character. It's actually the same thing though. And for this change of character, where is the origin of this particular move here? Here is the origin, right? So we are going to map this out. We have here, we have a bullish order block here. This last candle traded to the downside before this push here. We have a bullish order block here. Okay, so market started pushing to the upside, right? But we have another swing here. We have another swing here. So we want to see the swing that will give us a break of structure. Okay, to identify that, to delineate that point as our order block, to delineate the origin as our order block. Here we have a break of structure at this point. Okay, we have a break of structure at this point. And where is the origin of this particular break of structure? Here we have an order. Here is the origin, and here is what is called a bullish order block. Map the whole of the last candle to the downside before this push here. So here we have a bullish order block. Okay, so you can see here price came back to it, tapped into it, and started pushing to the upside. It started pushing to the upside here. So this is actually how to map out an order block, right? This is how to map out an order block, a bearish and a bullish order block. First, you have to identify a break of structure, then go back to check the origin that caused the break of structure. And also, if you spot the origin that caused the break of structure that also has like a fair value gap close to it, that origin is valid, like that order block is valid. All right, okay, so this is how to map out an order block. All right, thank you so much for watching. See you in my next video.